Hello, this is Ted Gambardella. I want to tell you 7 things that I've learned in my first 64 years of life. You know, I just celebrated my 64th birthday, and one of the things I've learned in my first 64 years of life is that you stop celebrating your birthdays after you move out of your parents' house, or if you're like some people who still live with your parents and you're 30 plus years old, you stop celebrating your birthdays when you have to start paying for the parties. But let's get back to the point. Here are 7 things I've learned in my first 64 years of life. Number 1. Life is not fair, not even close. And too many people run around whining and complaining that life is not fair, instead of actually accepting that fact and doing something about it. 99% of the people do not deserve the breaks and the things they have in their life right now. And billions of other people do not get any breaks or even actually have anything at all. Even a pair of shoes or food to eat. There is no Santa Claus, and there is no Uncle Santa Claus that is going to pay all your bills and give you a nice house, a car, and food to eat. If you want something great to happen in your life, you better be prepared to make something great happen all by yourself. And that means getting an education or a job. Number 2, good people can and do die young, and often terribly after suffering from a disease or personal tragedy. I have seen some of the best and most noble people I know die young, and yet I've watched some of the slimiest scum in the world live to be old. God has not promised you a long and healthy life, so you better enjoy and make the best of what you have right now. You have no promise of tomorrow. Number 3, there is a God, and Jesus is His Son. I know so many modern thinkers and geniuses loudly proclaim there is no God, this is a fantasy, while they believe in witches, vampires, and werewolves and worship Mother Earth. But the most absolute fact in the history of the world is the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And why would you want this fact not to be true? Why? So you could just die and turn into dust instead of simply believe and accept Jesus and have an eternal reward in heaven? That sounds like a bet only a fool would make or want to believe in. Number 4, the government isn't the solution to our problems, the government is the cause of all our problems. Politicians are inherently corrupt and self-serving. In the last 64 years, I've only seen a few politicians who deserved any respect or actually cared about making America great and helping all the people, not just their friends and financial supporters. Number 5, liberals are wrong about everything. Always have been and always will be. But they are sinister and persistent and eventually wear good people down and force their liberal, destructive ways onto them and society. They took over the public schools, and now high school education means nothing. 50% of the students who graduate can't even do basic math, writing, and reading. They destroy the integrity of anything they're involved with while proclaiming tolerance and trying to force you not only to support any perverted view of life or ending life or sex or marriage or environment or tax or food or war they want. They constantly change their point of view and seek to destroy you personally, financially, and emotionally for disagreeing with them. Number 6, the press is not fair, honest, or unbiased. It is one of the most persistent and adamant forces leading down to the path of destruction of the American society and moral society in general. I don't understand how so many smart people can be so evil, corrupt, and immoral. They don't report the news, they distort the news and seek to destroy your faith in God and America as the greatest country in the history of the world just to sell ad space. Number 7, it gets cold in the winter and hot in the summer. Some winters are colder than other winters and some summers are hotter than others, but not because I drive a car. If you actually believe that driving your car can make the world hotter, then move to Alaska and start your motor and leave it running all winter until it warms up outside. There will be long periods when the earth is cold and when it's hot. And when the earth is warm, it's a much better place for everyone than when there's an ice age. This is Ted Gambardella. I just turned 64, and these are 7 things that I've learned in my first 64 years of life. I'll see you next time.